Vanakkam. Welcome to this edition of Indulge Auto as we bring today to you the five-door Thar known as the Thar Roxx. What is so great about this car and how is it different than the normal Thar? This is what we're going to discuss today right now. But look at this. We will get into the details. We'll also drive the car to tell you how it feels and give you our overall judgment. So hey, let's start with the external looks of the car. So when you look at the front of the car, what immediately sets it apart from the normal Thar is what the company calls the six back grille. Mixed opinions about how it looks. I personally am not very fond of this, but what I do like are these LED DRLs which run on the headlight. Of course, the headlight has LEDs as well. You have the turn signal indicators, fog lamps right here. So this part is classic Thar. Save, of course, for the alloy wheel design, which is a totally new design. You have the Roxx moniker right here. Again, over here, this is the standard thing, but you see this this gives an FRP effect, but is metal in fact. And the design element here is that this has been cut away like this and a notch introduced to make it clearly distinguishable that this is the five-door version you're looking at. Of course, you have some graphics here. I like this quarter glass. I think this treatment is quite good. I'm not very happy about this part because, I thought that maybe if the handle came here, it would probably be better, but whatever. I mean, these are design elements which probably I don't understand. But overall, yeah, the shape looks good. It's clean cut, gives a dual tone effect. I think this is pretty nice. Let me now take you and show you the back side of the car. Of course, over here you see the DRL as well in the rear lights. I like the rear light cluster. I like it more than the normal Thar. I think this is very pretty. Of course, the big spare tire. You have a camera integrated here because this is part of the reversing camera, 360-degree camera thing. Overall, fit and finish looks to be good, and the tailgate opens in two parts. One part opens up like this, and then subsequently, of course, you take this up, which has its own struts. A very usable 600-liter boot space here, if you measure from the top to the bottom. As you would know that the Thar, the normal three-door Thar, did not have much space, but this seems to have made up for it. And of course, you have the rear seat here, which can be reclined. So this is as far as the externals are concerned. Now what we will do is we will take a look at the interiors before we take a look at the engine and do a subsequent drive. So thus we are sitting in the interior of the Thar. Over here, of course, you see the perforated leatherette and fabric combination Thar written here. I like the color scheme, the dual, the black and the creamy type color here. Every Thar comes with its own individual plate, which tells you the serial number of this car and made in India with pride. Yes, that is what it says here. Over here, you have a wireless charging space. I can keep my phone here and there you see it starts charging. You have the electronic parking brake and the auto hold here, two small glass holders. In the 4x4 cars, this is where you get the 4x4 transfer lever. In this case, this is a two-wheel drive, a rear-wheel drive, so the transfer lever is not here. The automatic transmission, your seat coolers on both sides for the ventilated seats, switch on or switch off the passenger side airbags, your hazard light switch, and you can switch between two driving modes called the zip and the zoom. Basically, they change the engine characteristics to give you a sportier drive. And over here you have the central big touchscreen which gives you all the functions. Now you get wireless Android Auto, but wired Apple CarPlay. Wired through this place. You also have a 65-watt fast charging cable system here if you have a wire. This of course is a touchscreen and it controls all your multimedia and infomedia functions from here. In front of you is a glorious 10.25-inch screen which gives you all the driver data onto this, and you can configure this on what data you particularly want. Cruise control, adaptive cruise control. This car has level 2 ADAS facility, so yes, it gives you all of that. Pretty comfy place to stay in, nice high up, good grab handles. So now let's sit in the back and see how good it is. The back seat. What is good is you see the panoramic sunroof comes right till here. I think this is really large. And while I'm not exactly a fan of sunroofs, but I think that on a good day, this can serve a good purpose. The 2850 wheelbase ensures that you have plenty of leg space, even with the front seats pulled quite a way back. You can see I have a good leg space here. Headspace, surprisingly, is very good here as well. And again, I would say this is a four-seater, not a five. Over here, you have the central armrest, one of my favorite features, with two cup holders. And you would notice I'm probably sitting at something which is a little odd at an angle because you can recline the back seat as much as you want. And since it's split, so you can have a 60-40 ratio here. And I think this is quite good. And I think Mahindra has done a very intelligent thing by scooping the back here to give you more leg space. And you have a sort of a mobile holder kind of a thing. So if I were to take my mobile, I could easily place it like this here and still have usable magazine keeping space. Two AC air vents take care of people at the back. However, only one USB-C charging point. You know, when there are so many people in the car, the whole family is traveling, I think it is always better to have two USB-C charging points at the most. Because, you know, that's what gives everybody a chance to sort of control and charge their devices. Overall comfort, I quite like it. I actually like this blocky building thing, you know. I mean, I think it's quite solid and it feels terrific. You have Harman Kardon branding everywhere to tell you that the system is from Harman Kardon, of course. But overall, yes, coming back to the ride comfort at the rear, I think this Ace is it. Okay, so now let's take a look at the power plant of the car. To do that, of course, you have to release the bonnet from inside, but you have two catches here, a Jeep style. Yep. And you lift it from here. Wow, that's a fairly heavy bonnet. Ooh, it's hot. So, this is, of course, as we mentioned, the petrol engine car. It produces about 177 horsepower and has 380 Newton meters of torque. And what we are driving today is paired to a six-speed automatic from Aisin. You can also get this in a six-speed manual, and you can get a diesel engine as well with a 1600 bar pressure. That also produces a similar figure of 175 horses and 370 Newton meters of torque. But that is as far as the specs on sheet are. How good is it to drive? Let's take a drive and find out. So as I had mentioned before, we are driving the rear-wheel drive Thar Roxx with an automatic transmission. This is the petrol engine. Uh, it's a very smooth car to drive, and you know what? I personally think I like the so-called growl of the petrol engine. It's somewhat evocative. I think it's a nice sound that the car makes. And overall, if you ask me, I think what is happening here is a very comfortable drive. I really like that the controls all fall to hand very well, and you have the very nice 10.26 inch display here, and there's a display here. I think overall it's a very comfortable car. So for all of you who thought that the Thar is only for people who are not family people, because yes, it was a three-door. I think the five-door makes perfect sense if you are a family and you want to travel with your children, with your parents, grandparents. Overall, I think this is a sensible version of the Thar. Does it rock? Well, it certainly does. So, you went for a drive with me, you saw the internal, the external, the power plant. What do you think? Now, we know that the most important factor in the Indian market today is pricing. And it starts at 12.99 for petrol, 13.99 for diesel, and you have a lot of other variants in between with various prices. What we have been driving is the top of the level rear wheel drive car. This is not a 4x4 with an automatic transmission. We don't know the price of this one as yet. My best guess is about, 19.99, 20 lakhs odd, and the diesel would be about 21. And I think the top 4x4 model should be around 23, 22, 23. That is my guess. At that level, I would give this car a 9 out of 10 because I think we have a huge fan following for the car, and the Rock should be no different. Expect long waiting times if you take long to book. But yeah, this is a great vehicle overall. I hope you enjoyed watching this with me as much as I enjoyed making this video for you. Please follow Indulge on all our social media platforms, and we'll get back to you soon with another episode of A Nice Car. Uh, don't drink and drive, buckle up, and stay safe. See you.